What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about how the city in Gotham Knights is going to be the biggest that we've seen in any of these games. This came from a Game Informer interview with, they're doing the press tour, right? They're going around answering questions. I will say, I've been watching let me just throw this out there just to see who cares. I've been watching a lot of these interviews with Fleur and Jeff Eleanor of Gotham Knights, and the interview questions are about as awful as you could ever expect. IGN, GameSpot, Game Info, all of these sites, they really, the way they ask questions is like they have literally no idea what this game is whatsoever. And it's like, I get that approach, I guess, to interviewing them, but at the same time, like, your Game Informer, your IGN, and the interview questions make it very clear you either are taking the approach of pretending you don't know anything about the game, or you truly don't know anything. And I mean, like, very easy details about this game. So I just wanted to kind of throw that in there, that I find it pretty hilarious, the interview questions. However, the Game Informer one actually went a little bit more in depth. I will give them a little bit of credit. They asked about, like, ages of the Gotham Knights. They asked about how many suits Nightwing has, and they said each of our Knights has 11 different suit styles. So that's something we've never heard before. So I will give Game Informer credit. We got a couple new things from it. They say, obviously, that it starts with the Batman death, like the trailer we got the very first time at DC Fandom. And then they talk about how big it is, and Jeff Eleanor has always, to me, struck me as somebody who gives really weird answers, and then Fleur kind of comes in and kind of like rights the ship. So Jeff says, basically, he's never put one map on top of the other, so he doesn't know, how big, but he does know that Gotham is a big place. And then Fleur comes in and says, for sure, it's the biggest version of Gotham that has ever been represented in video games. So it's like, okay, very clearly she knows what she's talking about. So there we go. Now I want to spend, a little while, I guess, talking about this, because I do think that gets people excited. At least I've seen kind of casual people on Twitter and just online, when they saw, because this has been like kind of the leading headline over the last day. This interview was yesterday in the morning. You see people, I think, with like a renewed sense of optimism, maybe. People that weren't paying too much attention to it. I saw actually several people saying, this is what gets me interested in it. And I get that. And I actually understand why, hearing, okay, this is the biggest map. Basically, this is the biggest map they've ever had. So it's bigger than Arkham Knight. And that's pretty huge, right? Now, I've always remained very firm in any game, not just DC games, not just this. Bigger does not necessarily mean better whatsoever. You can make the biggest open world game you want. If it doesn't feel like it's an open world, if it doesn't have the stuff to do in the open world, you could shrink it by half the size and literally nothing would change, right? It wouldn't matter. In fact, it would probably make it better. So I am also, I'll be flat out honest, I am also excited hearing that, because I do think, like, when we get into this game, there is honestly a possibility that it blows us away with being so big, and then just all the stuff to do, right? The different side missions, the side activities that happen, right? The crimes. We've heard a lot about the districts in this like interview press that they've been doing. They've talked a lot about districts, and we heard about that, I think, before a little while ago, but what we basically know now is, there's different districts in the game, and some are going to kind of be like filled with life. Some of them are going to be a little bit like less populated, more like crime activity. So it sounds like there's literally going to be different factions of Gotham, or different like areas, and they're going to be distinguishable. They're going to be different from each other. So I do like that. Again, I like what I hear when it comes to that. But again, I will remain firm that bigger does not necessarily mean better. And while hearing it is fine, and it's good, we'll have to wait until you get into the game. Because again, if you can do everything in this game in half the size of the map, then that's a mistake making it big, because it actually hurts, right? If you can do everything but just in smaller, you really did just make it big just so you can make it big, just so you could hide a couple Riddler trophies, or whatever their plan is for collectibles, which we do know there is going to be some sort of like detective work collectible thing in this game. We just don't know. They've never said what it is yet. One other thing, this is just for fun, because I have to hamper on to it, and I don't like this. They asked the question, and I'm glad they did. If my main is Nightwing, and my friend's main also happens to be Nightwing, well, firstly, get a new friend. Would one of us have to be a different hero, or could we have an Elseworld situation of 2 Nightwings together. Now, again, that signals to me immediately Game Informer doesn't really pay attention, because we have heard that, yes, you can play as the same character. Remember, it's been my number one. If I had to rank it, it'd be my number one weakness with this game. I don't like that. I think that breaks immersion. I think that hurts storytelling, character, all that stuff. And I've gone into much more detail in other videos. I'll just leave it there. And then their answers, I don't love them. Again, you can make it as weird as you want to. And then Fleur says, we're leaving it up to the players. We know some people will want to have different characters, but some won't care. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a funny moment in the game if you are playing as 2 of the same character. We're giving you complete freedom. Again, I mean, I don't even know. I don't want to be mean. I'll just say I don't like that answer. I don't like, I guess, funny. Like, I do like to laugh. Okay, that is a part of me. But at the same time, I don't know. As I've said before, Mr. Freeze talking to Batgirl and then Batgirl standing behind her. Like, there's just something to me that's always been off about that. Even in, like, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, you can't repeat characters. You know, if one is Harley, another cannot be Harley. So, like, I don't know. There is, I guess, a place for a game that allows, you know, any 2 people to be the exact same character. I don't like it for this kind of game. I've never liked it, and I won't hamper on it too much longer, but I want to throw that in there because that little comment of, you know, we have a funny little moment if you decide to play as the same 2 characters. Please don't. Please don't. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up, and I hope to see you all on the next video.